Simple website process here, but a few tips that I do want to give you so that you don't, it doesn't come back and bite you later on. First off, you need to register a domain utilizing keywords. Okay, you did your keyword research. Try to get some of those keywords in the domain, or if it's a new product that you made, right, with the PLR thing or whatever, the new title that you've got, see if that's available, maybe. I always recommend try to stick with the .com as the suffix there, because those are the best selling. Now, you want to sign up for a brand new monthly hosting account. Here's why. You don't want to put this on your own, maybe you've got a hosting account with unlimited domains, blah, 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 and all that stuff. That's great and fantastic, but you want to offer the flexibility that the buyer on Flippa is able to literally take over the account without doing anything. They don't have to download and upload nothing. They don't have to change any information. Other than changing the registrar information, but that can all be done right there in the hosting account. Okay, so once the transaction's over, you give them all of the information that they need to log in, and they can update their own registrar information there on the site. But that's all they can do their own payment information, everything. It's literally just a little swap, and that's very convenient. Okay, once you get that up, then you're going to upload your site. You want to set up everything and make it fully functional. What that means is very simple. Do PayPal, right? PayPal's super duper easy. Configure a PayPal buy button. Do the download page, thank you page, whatever. Just make everything where it really works, just like it's supposed to. It's turnkey. Somebody comes to the site, they click the buy button, they pay, they get taken to the thank you page. It just works. Okay, make sure all of that works. If there's an autoresponder, if there's an opt-in box on there anywhere, make sure that that's plugged into your autoresponder so that they can see, bam, this really is set up, functioning, everything works. And then all they've got to do is come in and make changes to maybe the PayPal button. They create their own PayPal button, and they make changes so that it goes into their account when the purchase is made. But that's the only change that they have to make, right? Okay, you want to test everything. You don't want, as people are going to check out your site when they're on Flippa. They're going to go check it out, and if stuff's not working, then they're not going to be impressed. Okay, and then you want to blog. 10 to 15 keyword-rich articles. These articles do not have to be in-depth. They don't have to be long by any means. 300 to 400 words, that's not a lot of writing. It's not difficult. If you found out that somebody that ranked well is using a 2% keyword density, then make sure you use a 2% keyword density. You have to be really careful with, Google will actually penalize you if you use too great of a keyword density. They're going to assume that you're doing keyword stuffing and spamming. So if you've got a 300-word article and you're using your keyword, 50 times, they're going to be like, okay, no, you're cut off. Thanks, bye. So, with blogging, let me just give you some. This is not really about article writing, but I want to give you some pointers. It's not about SEO, but again, I want to give you some helpful info. When you pick your keyword, let's say you get your dozen or so keywords that you've decided to target. You're going to pick one keyword. You're going to write one article about that keyword, and the title is going to have the keyword in it, the title of the page. Any headers on the article itself, you want to have the keyword in there as well. You want to maybe bold or italicize that keyword at least once or twice in the article. I suggest you do use images and use the keyword as the alt tag in the images. And if you have any, if you decide to do any link building, which would be, just beneficial to you in the long run, if you decide to do any link building, make sure that you use that same keyword with anchor text back to that specific blog post. Okay, and as far as the blog goes, let me mention this. I suggest that you use WordPress, set up a blog on the site, and make the permalinks so that the title of the article is in the permalink, not just a page number. By default, WordPress uses those page numbers for the permalinks, and that is not very keyword friendly for search engines. So you can change that though, and WordPress has like a million pages of documentation, so you can figure out how to do that. But just as a word to the wise. And then I suggest that you use Google Sitemap and do a submission. Okay, what this is going to do is create a layout of your website that search engines are going to absolutely love. And it gets Google to crawl your website right away. Okay, which is cool. That means you have a really good chance of getting indexed very quickly. Do that after you have the 10 to 15 articles, though. And really depending on, I don't know how much you like writing. Me personally, I can sit down, if I have time, I can sit down and write a ton of articles fairly quickly. I'm pretty proficient at it. If you like writing, you can knock all these off in a day. If you don't, try to at least do one or two in a day. If you're gonna go ahead and devote an evening, to your business, try to knock out a couple articles in that time frame. Okay. All right. Up next, we're going to talk about selling on Flippa. I'll give you some tips and how you can get more money for your sites. Now, some things I want to talk about in regards to you being successful selling on Flippa, because you've got to approach this with the right attitude. This is a for real business, okay? Myself, and I know a lot of other people that make big money flipping sites on a regular basis, like as in full-time, that's all we do kind of stuff, okay? So with that in mind, on Flippa, just like on eBay, okay, it's an auction environment, and just like on eBay, you have a reputation, and that reputation is very important. People are going to check out your reputation as far as, when they're going to make a bid on something. They want to see that you've really got the goods, that you've got a proven track record. So it is very important that you do a good job. And if you follow the guidelines that I've mentioned so far in the training, you should do pretty good with that, okay? Now, there are certain kinds of sites that outsell others on Flippa, and I do want to tell you what kinds of sites those are. Auto blogs and AdSense sites. Now, what that is, an auto blog is like it's got a piece of software that it just creates content from grabbing other content on the internet. Okay, so it like takes articles and it posts them on your blog. Those do very good. AdSense sites, so setting up a site targeting keywords and putting some Google AdSense on it, those do pretty good as well. But when I say they do good, I mean that they sell well. They sell frequently, but they sell for less money. Okay, so they're fairly inexpensive. They are, in many respects, a lot easier to set up than some other things. So, you can turn them pretty quickly. But to get a lot of money, like on an AdSense site, it's going to have to be an old site that shows, that it makes money every single day. A lot of people, if you've got an AdSense site that'll make $1 a day in AdSense, you can do pretty good with those because people see that, for a relatively small investment, they'll be making some money with it. And if they add content to it, that'll just grow. Okay? That's just kind of the skinny on those types of sites. That's not really the model that I'm going after here in this training. I'm telling you, get some good quality PLR, rebrand it, and set that up as a turnkey business for somebody. You're going to make a whole lot more money off of those. I mean, these kinds of sites, Autoblogs and AdSense, maybe $100. Okay, but I mean, it won't take you long to set them up. That's for sure. Your site needs original content to do well on Flippa. If you just go out there with stuff that, they're going to find all over the internet, that does not make it, a truly unique business opportunity for somebody. That's why I stress on the rebranding of the PLR stuff and customizing your sales page kind of stuff. You have to have something that truly nobody else has. And that gives them, as far as leverage, that's a much better position to be in as a website owner. So you put them in that position, and they're going to pay more money for it. Now, what do we do after we pick our we start off picking our niche, we pick some keywords, we get a PLR product? By the way, it's totally cool to, in addition to AdSense, you can get some affiliate offers, ClickBank, share a sale, that kind of stuff, and stick that on there too. Just as long as they just have to change their, some kind of code or something so that it's their product then that they're promoting. But after you get all this set up, because, the first time, yes, you might work on it all weekend before you get it going. You'll get faster, though. And as you realize, okay, this is not very difficult to do, you spend a little bit of time to do it, bam, you're done. What do you do next? You do it again, folks. This is a process that never stops. As soon as you list a site, you get the whole thing done, it's tested, it's working, list it, right away start on another one. Don't even worry about what's going on with that particular auction at that point. Get your mind off of it, so to speak. You want to set up sites as quickly as possible, but keep the quality of the sites high. Remember that reputation you're going to have. You want to show people, I'm making some good stuff here. Okay, I'm setting up good sites. I am finding niches that are hot. I'm finding good keywords, and I'm writing good quality articles, and everything works. It's turnkey, bam, you're done. And this is in-demand product kind of stuff. Now, sometimes you might stumble onto a niche that could be very, very profitable for you. What you might consider doing is not listing that site right away. Get it all set up, make it all work, and do some link building so that it actually makes some sales, and allow that site to age for a little while. Once you get the site, if you get a site to a point where it'll make you $500 a month, you can sell that easily, for $3,000-$4,000. It just depends on how you can prove things as far as what the site's actually doing. Anybody, it's a no-brainer. If a site makes $500 a month, anybody's going to be willing to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on it, because in just a few months they're going to be in profit, and from there, it's just cake, right? All right, let's talk about some Flippa tips. These are very, very, I tell you what, let's save this for the next video, because this is going to be pretty extensive. I'm going to spend a good bit of time on this because I got some things to explain. So we'll take a look at Flippa tips in the next video. The goal of this video is I want to tell you about some things that you can do to get more activity on your Flippa auctions. And when you get more activity, that means the bids go up, because the more people, the more exposure you get, the more people bidding on the things. The fact is, people want what other people want, right? So if you got nobody bidding on your auction, then others aren't going to bid on it. But if you got 15, 20 people bidding on your auction, then other people are going to bid, and they're going to bid more in order to get it. Okay, so the trick here is getting more bids. Hands down, to get more bids, first thing you can do, use the featured listing. Okay, it's only $29, and it will get you a lot more exposure. It's very, very effective, and it's worth the $29. Provided you think your site's going to, sell for over $100 or so. I suggest you do a 5-day listing. Start at $1 and no reserve. That makes things very, very appealing to people. They figure, okay, I've got an opportunity to get in here pretty inexpensively, and that gets you initial bids, and then those initial bids in turn get you more interested bids. Now I'm going to tell you something that is somewhat of a sneaky tactic, okay? If you're new to Flippa, when you create your auction and people bid on it, those bids actually have to be approved by you, okay, initially when they first are made. Once you approve it, then, yes, it's a binding bid and it goes public. Everybody knows about it. So what people usually do is when you list it, you're going to get a lot of bids right away, and they'll go in and they'll approve those bids, okay, as soon as they come in. But what you're going to do is a little bit different. When you get that first little flood of bids, you're going to find the lowest one and approve it, and then completely ignore the others for 12 hours. Okay, so 12 hours later, don't even worry. Go work on your next project. Okay, don't even worry about what's coming in. Don't reply to messages, nothing. And then what you do is 12 hours later, you come in and you got probably a whole bunch of bids piled up, because since it's such a brand new, only one person bid on it kind of thing, and the bid is very, very low, you're going to get a lot of other people that want to jump in thinking that they have an opportunity to pick up something wicked cheap, right? Well, what you do then is you accept all the bids at once. And then you just let the auction run. You respond to all the messages. You leave, if there's any comments that need to be added, stuff like that, and you accept bids as they come in from that point. Now, the reason that you do this and how this actually works is it'll give your auction the appearance that it's a wicked, hot, popular auction in demand. And that is going to make it more desirable to others. Because remember, people want what other people want. So what's going to appear here is like, man, they're like more than 15 bids in the first 24 hours. They're going to be like, I want that. If you go in and you just accept the bids as they come in, then you're not going to get as much activity, because a lot of times, this is actually cool. It works in your favor. If initially some guy, maybe he bids $500 on your site, and you accept that right away, other people are going to be like, well, yeah, I'm not even going to bid because that's too high for me already. Whereas if the bid is $5, the one that's showing, right, then they're going to be like, okay, yeah, I'll bid. So you will get more bids because that, initially that high bid that got in there didn't get posted because you didn't approve it. So you got a whole bunch of other bids. And then once you get all those extra bids, now you've got, a greater amount of people that are interested, and that's going to cause that auction to show us something that's really, really hot. People are interested in it. Okay? So that's the strategy there. It's kind of like it's a little sneaky way to get a little more interest going on. Now, one thing about sites that you put up, obviously sites that make money are worth more. So I mentioned this, in the last video, that if you can, and you want to hold on to a site for a little while and let it actually make some revenue, and you have a way that you can prove that, hey, this site makes, blah, blah, blah on a pretty regular basis, it's going to be worth a whole lot more. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. You don't have to wait. If you make a good site and set it up, and that's all you want to do is set it up, make it work, and sell it. Totally fine. Okay, no problems there. Good-looking sites sell for more. If you go out there and you just set up some generic-looking template or some kind of ugly web page, it's not going to make that much. It just isn't. People want to see something that looks visually appealing. If you can, it's a good idea to add Google Analytics to your site because that helps you show proof. You can say, hey, I get X amount of hits every day, X amount of hits every month, depending on how long you're going to be holding on to the site. And that really is only a factor if you're going to hold on to the site for a little while. Don't hype up your site. There's nothing more unattractive than seeing an auction where somebody says this site makes me $30 a month, but it has a potential to make 50, grand a year, or it has a potential to make $3,000 a month. Well, if it has that potential and you really think it does, then why don't you do what needs to be done to make it make that much money? Okay? So don't hype it up. Don't, just be honest with people. Tell them what it is, and they will appreciate you for it, and it'll actually work in your favor. When I see sites that say, this is a new site, it's not making me any money yet, but it has the potential to do $5,000 a month, I'm like, yeah, okay, next. And I get the feeling that a lot of other people are the same way. Tell them why you're selling the site. In the listing, it's a good idea to, they're going to be curious as to, why are you getting rid of this site? So it's a good idea to let them know. Just tell them, hey, I enjoy setting up websites and writing content and doing graphics. I enjoy this and that and the other thing and researching new projects. And that's what I want to do is set these up and then sell them. So, tell them instead of you having to outsource and get all that stuff done, it's already been done. This is a turnkey project, and this is what I love doing, and that's why I'm selling it. Now, what I want to put forth to you is a bit of a challenge. Okay, because let me tell you what usually happens with training videos like this. People are excited about it, they buy it, they check it out, and they're like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, and they never do it. I don't want that to happen to you. So what I want you to do is don't do it today because, you might have watched a lot of videos today. Maybe you're tired, you're worn out. But tomorrow, I want you to start doing your niche research, and I want you to make your first site within the next 7 days. And that's totally doable even for a newbie. Okay? Go out there, do your niche research, do your keyword research, qualify the niche, make sure it's a good competitive market that you can rank for just to add value to your website, and get a PLR product. They're very inexpensive. Just go to Google, do a search. There's tons out there. Again, do try to find one that's good quality, that includes source graphics, website graphics, stuff like that, and gives you the source files so that you can edit them. And set it all up, rock and roll, list it on Flippa. Now, I want to talk to you briefly here about what we do after the sale, and I want to mention some things that you can do to, make a little bit more money in the whole process here. It's actually, there are some great opportunities that you have to increase the amount of money that you make outside of just the sale price. So let's go ahead now and look at one of my favorite ways to make a little bit of extra income, and that is being a hosting reseller. Let me tell you what this involves and how you would go about doing it. It's not really that difficult. First off, what a hosting reseller is you go to a big hosting company, like HostGator, for example. You sign up with a special reseller account. There's no cost to do this. And what that reseller account allows you to do is set up other accounts and then resell that. It's kind of like you're your own hosting company. So when your customers would come to you, they sign up for an account. They don't know that you're actually just reselling for HostGator. So it's a little bit better than an affiliate relationship because, if people stick with you, then you have the potential there for recurring income on an indefinite basis. Okay? So the thing is, like with, let's say that you did some kind of just an affiliate thing and recommended hosting to somebody, you might get $50 out of the deal, maybe even get $100. But over the long run, being your own hosting company, you stand to get a whole lot more. And it's not expensive, folks. I'm talking you can pay $20, $30 a month for a reseller account, and you can just sell tons of accounts on that. So what you have to do first is you set up your reseller account. Now, the reason that we're talking about this now is because you have to get this set up before you flip the site, before you even make the site, in order for this to be very appealing and attractive to them. Because what we're going to do is typically you sell a site and they've got to get it switched over to their account. They've got to copy stuff over, and it can be quite a bit of work. Well, you can actually circumvent all of that by doing the preparation beforehand and getting your reseller account set up. So you sign up for the reseller account, and then what you can do to kind of sweeten the deal is you can offer 3 months of hosting with the sale. So they buy your site, they're going to get 3 months of hosting. What that's going to do is help them to be lazy and not worry about transferring the site. So they're just going to leave it there, and they're going to keep working on it. And after 3 months, it's going to be like, who cares? Just leave it there. Then you can either hit them for the monthly fee, or you can charge them for 6 months, even a year of hosting up front. And it's nothing to pay $100 for a year of hosting. So if let's say you got $100 for an AdSense site, then you're going to get another $100 by hosting it for them. Double your money. So you can go to HostGator, and you can sign up with a reseller account there. They provide a billing system called WHMCS. This system is really, really cool because it will do everything for you. It'll take care of the billing. If you've got, let's say you got a merchant account through Authorize.net, a credit card processor, you can set that up in there. Let's say you want to use PayPal, you can set that up in there. And it'll take care of doing the billing, like sending customers invoices when it's renewal time, and managing domains and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool, powerful package. What you do is actually you will set up your reseller account. You will have WHMCS installed, and once you have that working, then whenever you're going to do a new site, you create a new customer. So you create the customer, you give them a hosting plan, and then you register that domain that you're going to flip. And, I'm talking about if you're starting over from scratch, right? And then whenever a time comes to sell that, flip that site, you are so set, because all you have to do is go into the customer account, change the name to the person who just bought it, send them the details, and they can actually log in right there and manage everything. They can enter, payment information if they want to pay for a year up front. They can do everything. The billing system totally runs the whole show. It's a really cool way to go. Another bright side to this is, let's say you've got existing sites. You've already got sites there. You can still create an account, create a user account, get them a hosting account on there. And I recommend you do a new account for every site that you have. And it doesn't cost you anymore. You can have as many accounts as you want because you're a reseller. You're paying for one main account, and you create as many of these little sub-accounts as you want to. But you set up a new account for an existing website, and then once you've got that in there, you go ahead and worry about all the hassle of transferring it. Because I understand, this might be the first time you've ever heard of the concept of being a hosting reseller. So you may already have websites out there. Okay, but what you can do now is set up these accounts, transfer them over to your new reseller account, and boom, you're ready to go. What's really cool about this too is, let's say that you do have your own domains, and maybe you're paying hosting for those. Maybe you're paying $10-15 a month for hosting for different accounts. You don't have to do that anymore because you're your own reseller. You can sign up your own account. Set up your own account and you don't pay another dime. Okay, so really pays for itself. If you've already got websites, this totally pays for itself. Just having it. Plus then you get extra income. Now, other ways that we can add some revenue. Offer support services. And you can just put together some nice, attractive bundles for people, especially that are new to this. And you're going to find that a lot of your customers are newbies. One of the reasons that they're coming here to Flippa is because they don't know how to do all that stuff. They just want the website. So you can sell them phone support, bundle some hours. You know, like they have to buy like 5 hours worth of support. You can charge them 5 hours for $150. And that way they can call you. They can get you to walk them through some things and help them. Give them some training, some coaching. You could make yourself some videos for newbies. Things like FTP and some basic HTML stuff and how to use WordPress. All that kind of stuff that they're going to need to know how to do. You can make yourself some videos and sell it to them. You know, $25 even. Just a little bit of extra money that you're making. You can create a course on writing articles because chances are they're going to need to do some article writing. Have all of this stuff set up. You know, if you're a real savvy marketer, you can have all of this stuff set up in an autoresponder sequence. And when they are a new customer for you, pop them in there and you're going to just, you know, sell all this stuff to them. Try to get them to go with it. And if they're newbies, a lot of times they're going to be like, yeah, I know I need this. And the good news is, I mean, check it out. They're newbies, right? So you say, okay, here's your site, you know, blah, 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 go to it. Even after they see an email from you offering some beginner tutorials, maybe they say no. They don't buy anything. Once they start digging into it, they're like, oh, man, I need to know how to do this. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to come back and get your videos, okay? So if you know about setting up WordPress blogs and you know about using them, and which you will eventually, even if you don't know right now, you're going to know because that's what your whole business is going to be based on. You can make these videos and make some extra money. Offer customization services. You can tell them, you know, here's my hourly rate. I can go in and make updates for you. I can make changes, whatever you want me to do. Like if you're, like I said, let's say you know about WordPress, you know about HTML, you know things that need to be done. Now listen, a lot of these people, they're clueless. They don't know. That's why they bought the site in the first place. They want a site that's ready to go, and they don't want to fool with it. So they might just want to hire you to make changes. Now, that doesn't mean the site can be junky and vanilla. It needs to be a total turnkey, ready-to-go site. But there might be a couple of things they want to change. Maybe they want to change a header. Maybe they want to change the format or the layout of it a little bit. Offer all of these services because chances are some of them are going to take you up on it, and it's a way for you to make some extra cash. If there are things that you're not real good at, let's say graphics, for example. You don't do your own graphics. So you want to offer still customization services. They're going to ask you about graphics. All you got to do is outsource, buddy. Go to Elance, go to Rent-A-Coder, go to Guru, and work out some kind of relationship with somebody that's a good graphics artist and say, hey, I need a really good deal on you doing stuff for me, like what's it cost for a banner? Let's work out something. I can send you some regular work. And then when your customer says, hey, change this, and some of that stuff in there has to do with the graphics, bam, you just mark it up. You do something that is fair and for your management aspect of it, and you have your buddy overseas doing the graphics for you while you're taking a nap. Now, we also have the actual transferring of the site, and there's some things that I want to go over with you briefly here, because if they don't do the hosting deal, if they say no, I'm going to put it on my own account and I'm not going to continue hosting with you, you're going to have to do some stuff. And even if they do that, you're still going to have to transfer the domain. Transferring the domain typically takes about 30 minutes if you're able to do it yourself. If you got to coordinate with them or work something out with them, sometimes it can take a little bit longer. But it involves unlocking, domains and pushing them and all this kind of stuff. The best solution is getting them to sign up with your registrar, and I'll tell you about that here in just a second. If you got to handle everything, it'll only take you about 30 minutes to transfer the domain. But for that to propagate the internet could take a few days. Now, typically, I see it working in about 2 hours most of the time when I make changes. But I have seen it take 6-7 hours, and I have heard DNS nightmares of a few days. So what happens there is when you change a server, when you point it somewhere else, when you point a domain somewhere else, that information has to go through all the servers on the internet, and sometimes that takes a while. So, and sometimes it can work for you and not work for your customer yet because the changes haven't hit their ISP's servers. Okay. Now, what you have to do, the best option, like I told you, is just simply pushing the site, pushing the domain name. The way that is done is you have them sign up at your registrar. So whoever you're using, let's say you're using Enum. The domain's registered there at Enum. Have them sign up at Enum, at your registrar. Because then usually all you have to do is push the site to them. You're just transferring ownership of it over to their account. And usually there's not going to be any charge for that. So we don't have to worry about, a transfer fee. If they're signed up with your registrar, boom, it just gets pushed over. I know with Enum, it's a piece of cake. I go in there, I've got, I have a reseller account, and I manage around 3,000 domains. But whenever I want to transfer a domain to another Enum user, just select it, push, type in their ID, and boom, done. Now, what you will want to do is give them FTP access, possibly. You don't have to. You might be leery of doing that, but you can set up an FTP account and give them access so that they can go in and they can grab files that they want to. Again, this is assuming that they're not going to host with you, so they've got their own account. They can go in there and they can grab it. Give them 10 days. Say I need you to have this off of there in 10 days so that I can close that account. Now, there's a lot involved in transferring a site. That's why I say if you have it on your account, on a reseller account, and you can offer them the convenience of just continuing that, a lot of times they're going to take it because it's a lot of work, and you're about to see how much work it is. I mean, it's not that it's really hard. I can do it now fairly quickly, but there are a lot of steps, and to a newbie, it's going to seem very overwhelming. Okay? You've got to copy everything that's in the public HTML folder, so you've got to download that. Then, if you've got a WordPress installation or something else that happens to be using a database, you've got to copy those databases. And the way that is done is by logging into your cPanel, go to the MySQL databases. You're also going to be dealing with phpMyAdmin. Okay, so you go in and you see how many databases you got, which ones are going to have to be backed up. Go into phpMyAdmin, select the database that you need to grab, choose the export column, and then select all. Choose SQL. Some people call that SQL. And then save as a file, and then click Go. What that does is back up the database. It gives you a copy of the database. Then you'll have to go to the new server and import the database. Okay, so let's say, for example, we've got a WordPress blog. It's got content on it. We want, maybe it's even got users signed up, comments, all this kind of stuff, and we want to transfer all of that. So this is the way that we have to do it. Unless, well, I'll tell you in just a second. You're also then going to need to have WordPress installed on the new server already, and then you go into the wp-config.php file on the new server and update those database details, username, password, database, all that kind of stuff, after you have done the import. So it's going to go in then and grab the information, and everything should work, fine and dandy. Check this out, though. That's a lot of work. If you're going to be flipping sites, I totally recommend that you get a product called WP Twin, because what this does is, you may not be aware of this. If you do use WordPress, there's a backup feature, an export thing in WordPress. That does not give you everything. That does not fix your problems, believe me. Okay, it doesn't back up everything. If you use WP Twin, though, it is used to clone databases, WordPress databases. So what you can do is literally, check it out. Do a Google search for WP Twin. Watch the guy's video. He made this plugin type of thing. It's like a script. And all you do is upload a file to the old server, run the file, it backs everything up. Grab that. All you have to do is then go to the new server, just create a database, just a generic database. It doesn't matter. And then a WordPress installation, sorry. You create the WordPress installation, then you copy a little file up there and copy the backup up there. You run that file, and it replaces everything in the new installation with the old one. Boom, you just moved the whole WordPress site. And I do mean everything. Everything. Really awesome. Saves me, I couldn't even tell you, hours that program saves me. Now, some other things that we might want to consider. Do we have any email autoresponders on this site? Okay, are there email messages in a sequence or something? We're going to want to talk to them about that. Maybe give them copies of those email sequences so that they can put them on their autoresponder. Let them know which autoresponder service you're using, so that if they have an Aweber account, they'll be able to just update some stuff, create a list, update some numbers on the page, and boom, everything still works for them. Are there any special directories, maybe applications that you have running, or other things that wouldn't normally get backed up in the public HTML, like special scripts or something? Those are things that you'll have to consider so that you can get those moved correctly. Are there any redirects set up on this page? A lot of times, affiliates will set up a redirect page that is going to, so that you can give out something that doesn't look like an affiliate link. It looks just like a here's mysite.com recommends. If you have something like that, you're going to have to configure that also. Let them know about that so that they can make updates to it, so that they are, signed up as an affiliate for whatever offers those are. Also, do you have any cron jobs that are required to automate some processes? Now, a cron job is something that goes into your cPanel, and it's a special command that you specify how often you want it run, and then it'll run them. Maybe it's to do a database compact, or to send out emails, or check users, whatever. There's all kinds of things that cron jobs do, backup things. So what you got to do is go into your cPanel, go to cron jobs, and see if there are any cron jobs there. If there are, you're going to want to copy those and have them installed on the new server as well, so things keep running. Okay, especially if it is something that has to do with delivering files, or doing billing stuff, all that. A lot of times those have cron jobs. Now, what you can do is, of course, offer a lot of the services here to them for an additional fee. Tell them, I will move all this stuff over for you. And you got to kind of feel out the customer. They might expect you to do that anyway, but really they're just buying the domain and the content that's on it. So them actually getting it over and installed on their server, their hosting account, if they're doing it that way, that really is their responsibility. So as a business owner, you got to feel things out. Is it worth making a bad customer relation here by not helping them, or that's assuming that they expect you to help them. Most people, though, do understand that they just bought the site and they got to move it over. So you can offer these services for an additional fee to help you make a little bit more money and take advantage of your time. And also, like I said, you can alleviate a lot of this by having it set up on a reseller hosting account where you can make additional revenue residually by just having them kind of take over the account. And that's definitely the preferred method. Okay, so good luck with your site flipping. And again, folks, just get on this. That's the best way to start making money, is to actually put your foot forward and put your foot on the floor, put the pedal to the metal, and get going.